Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. It's Tony here, your favorite YouTuber. Today I have another episode of Bargain Heroes. Pretty much phones which were quite expensive at launch, but now they represent excellent value for money. And today I'm going to be talking about the Oppo Find X5 and why this is the best camera phone to take on a holiday in 2025. Now, let's talk about the pricing, which is the main thing. Actually, the phone was released in 2022 for £750 over here in the UK, and the Pro version for over £1,000, guys. And for whatever reason, absolutely unexplainable to me, you can have one of these phones for about £100–120 second-hand on eBay. I personally purchased this one from Facebook Marketplace with a case, without the charger, of course, but it's absolutely like new, guys, barely used, £120. If you're looking for the Pro version, that's gonna run you down about £150–160, but that's absolutely crazy value for money, guys. Simply because the cameras are amazing, and if you're going on holiday, you need a proper flagship phone, guys. Last year I made a mistake. I went to Spain and I took my Lenovo Legion Y70, and it turned out that the selfie camera is not that great. Who would have thought? And this year I was using the Lenovo Legion Dual, a review coming real soon, by the way, and it's too nice, too shiny, too bulky. It's not gonna go very well in the sand, and the cameras are questionable. I haven't really tested them. So I thought, okay, what do? I need a cheaper X flagship phone, and there are not many options out there, guys. Just in case, I've bought this Pixel 8 with a damaged screen over here. You can see this spot, this black spot over here on the screen, guys. I got it cheaply, simply for the cameras, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna buy the Pixel and that's it. But then I thought that why not buy both phones, take them both on the holiday. If something happens with each one of them, I'm just gonna use the other one, and there we go. But before that, I did something very important. I did a dedicated camera test between those two phones, and the only area that the Pixel, well, 8 is actually better than the Oppo Find X5 is the macro shots, guys. Absolutely no comparison, but everything else, the Oppo is slightly better in terms of the photos and a little bit more boosted in color and everything, considering that it has the Hasselblad tuning of the camera and the dedicated Mari Silicon NPU for, you know, for the AI and stuff like that. So inside the box you've got nothing fancy really. You have one of these cases which you are going to need, simply because, check this out. The back cover, guys, I'm really not sure what kind of material is made of. Well, it's glass, of course, but the coating is absolutely phenomenal, guys. It looks like satin, it looks like sandpaper. It's a very good mixture. I can't really you know, show you on this well, advanced for the time Sony Xperia 1 what generation is that? Sony Xperia 1.3 phone that I'm filming it right now. But anyway, one thing you should know about the back cover is you can actually scratch it like that with your fingernail, guys. And the solution is you make your finger wet and you just wipe it down and it disappears like magic. However, you really don't want dust and sand and other stuff like that, so you just slap the case like that and you are good to go. At least that's how I used it on the holiday and it survived just fine. Now, typical Oppo manner, the rise to wake and the you know, as you can see, the face unlock is absolutely amazing, guys. I have a notification which I'm going to dismiss right now. It's for a new video that I've uploaded, and pretty much fingerprint reader. Check this out, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. 100% of the time. You don't need to register your fingerprint every few weeks or anything like that. It absolutely works 100% of the time, which is a no surprise for Oppo devices. They've always been like that ever since the Oppo Find X2, pretty much. In terms of speakers, there are stereo speakers here. 80% I would say is coming from here. No, actually it's not 80%, probably 70-30, probably 70% coming from the bottom speaker, 30% from this speaker. The quality is really good. However, the maximum volume is just a little bit, you know, it's not that it's not loud enough, but it could have been a little bit louder, guys. Now, in terms of the screen itself, absolutely beautiful screen, no issues with the brightness. What I've noticed is that it's a 1080p panel, and for the asking price of £750, this is unacceptable, guys. Rather than that, it's an absolutely beautiful panel. It's curved, of course, and some people don't like that because they have issues with the screen protectors, this and that. Get a full glue screen protector, and it's not that curved, guys. It's just a little bit on the edges over here, and overall, there is no ghost touches or anything like that. You can easily operate the phone with one hand like that, and you're not going to touch the edges whatsoever. In terms of software, Android 15 on board. Can you imagine, guys? This phone is 3 years old, and check this out. Software update, ColorOS 15, you have Android 15 on board. I didn't think that's gonna happen. I thought that they're gonna stop at Android 14, but I'm very happy to report that Oppo is taking good care of its customers in terms of the in terms of the software, and the software is good. I have absolutely nothing to complain apart from one little thing, guys, and this is the screen lock. Now, if you remember, Oppo always had this magazine unlock, where every time you unlock the screen you have a different different wallpaper. Over here, because there is difference between the Chinese ROM and the UK ROM. On the Chinese ROM, you have so many nice wallpapers, you have so many categories. However, on the UK ROM, you have very limited categories, and I was getting, let me just try to find it quickly, or maybe I deleted it, but I was getting this very annoying wallpaper, especially when I was hungry. Let me show you. I was getting this wallpaper all the time, and I was like, man, that's something that I really don't want to see. I didn't subscribe for the food category. Why am I getting this? So that's why I had to turn it off, guys, because it really is not nice. And the other thing, which I think is the difference between the UK and the the Chinese models, are the themes, guys. You have wallpapers and styles, but you don't have themes. It's even missing. You don't have themes anymore, so you're gonna have to install third-party launcher like Nova Launcher and change the icons if you actually want to change the icons. But to be honest with you, it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm okay with that, so still I'm very happy with the software, guys. Now, before we talk to the cameras, let's talk about performance. And that's one thing that, well, I have something to say over here, guys. Let's have a look at the 3D Mark. First and foremost, in terms of the gaming performance. Now, I did two tests just for scientific purposes. The first test I did, the Wildlife Extreme Street test, 20 minutes of testing, guys. And as you can see, 77% stability with a little bit of a difference in terms of the throttling. However, the next thing that I did is I've set the brightness of the screen to the brightness that you're actually going to look at the screen right now, and not a reduced brightness. And these are the scores that I'm getting. As you can see, there is heavy throttling under pressure, guys, over here. And stability is just 64%. And as you can see, the phone lost, well, 14% of battery life for just 20 minutes, and the temperature went from 33 to 44 degrees, guys, which 44 is not that hot, to be honest with you, and the battery 14% is about what you expect. However, heavy throttling over here, guys. Why is this happening? Well, simply because the phone is running Snapdragon 888. Now, I briefly had the Oppo Find X3 Pro, the previous generation, with the Snapdragon 888, and when I was playing, Wreckfest over here, guys, the phone was getting so damn hot that I really had to stop gaming in about 10 minutes, guys. If you're interested in the benchmarks in the Oppo Find X3 and X3 Pro, I've got a video on my channel. Have a look at that. However, it seems like Oppo did some actual work on this phone, guys, because it doesn't get too hot to the touch at all, and you continue gaming, guys, which I was really surprised. And for example, Wreckfest, it's a notorious game for being very heavy game. Not a lot of phones can actually handle this game. But I'm very happy to report that gaming wise, I have most of the settings on high, and you can actually get pretty decent frame rates, and you can actually do long-term, gaming without too much overheating and throttling, which I am very happy about, guys. One thing that I'm not very happy about, and which is directly related to the performance, is actually the battery life. But before that, let me mention something else. This phone, apart from running the Snapdragon 888, never really felt, how can I put it, guys, never really felt a proper flagship, boom 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 type of performance. I'm really not sure why, and I think I figured it out. But before that, let's talk about the battery life. Now, 80 watt super VOOC charger, 40 minutes to 100%. There is absolutely no issues with the charging. There has never been. Oppo was one of the first to introduce the dual batteries, essentially two batteries into one board, which allows faster charging of the batteries. Simple as that, guys. And the thing is, with the battery life, I thought that, okay, the battery life, what should I expect? All the reviews were saying some amazing battery life, guys. And the best ever I have done, have a look at my screenshot over here, guys. On the screen is 7 hours on Wi-Fi, super light usage, guys. And realistically, sometimes I was getting like 4.5 hours, up to 5 hours of screen on time. And considering the battery is just under 5,000 milliamp hours, I was expecting way more than the battery life, guys. And I think I figured out why the phone doesn't have the promised performance of a flagship over here. When you go to the battery, there's a lot of phones that actually have this feature, but I never really paid attention because it didn't make a difference without root anyways. Battery mode, I was having it over here, guys, on balanced battery mode. Check this out. It says that there is half an hour difference between high performance and balanced battery mode, but essentially that's not exactly the case, guys. The thing is, all the tests that I have done in terms of gaming and in terms of battery life were on balanced mode, guys. And check this out. I've put it on high performance and suddenly, boom, you get the promised flagship performance. Check this out, guys. How much more responsive the phone becomes in performance mode. However, the issue is Snapdragon 888, known for overheating, that's going to impact significantly the battery life on gaming. That's going to impact the whole battery life when using the phone, so you're going to get even less battery life, and you're going to generate more heat, wearing down the batteries quicker. So in this particular case, guys, although I'm happy that it has performance mode, I'm gonna keep it on balance mode, and pretty much is gonna make too big of a sacrifice on the battery life. And of course, this is gonna boost the gaming performance, but it will increase the throttling even more, guys. So I would say that if you're going to be a light user, no gaming whatsoever, yeah, you can turn the performance mode on because you can always charge your phone quicker with the charger. But overall, for me in particular, I'll keep it on balance, and I'll keep complaining then the phone then the phone doesn't have a flagship experience. Because to be honest with you, they had to differentiate between this phone and the Pro version. The Pro version has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which overheats as well, but it's not as bad as the 888, but at least it should give you a little bit more flagship performance. Now, talking about the cameras of this phone, guys, the selfie camera is a 32 megapixel unit used in a bunch of Oppo devices. Hello over here. So yeah, this camera was used in a bunch of Oppo devices, guys. And naturally, it's a very good camera. However, I've noticed that on a couple of occasions, especially on my trip to Italy, the phone just failed to capture the headlights. It was blowing out the headlights quickly. And as you can see over here, actually, this room is not that bright over here, guys. And you can see the highlight on my forehead. Well, it's overexposed, simple as that. And you can see what the HDR and the Mari Silicon did in terms of the processing. It toned it down a little bit, and although the detail is here, guys, it's just too much light going on, and overall, guys, it blows the highlights of some of the shots. The other thing is, in terms of the video of the selfie camera, guys, the maximum resolution is 1080p, which is not acceptable for a, let's say, flagship phone, guys. You have super steady stabilization, with which works quite alright. It decreases the quality a little bit, but still very stable, guys. And now let's have a look at a quick sample of this selfie video, and we're gonna come back to the main cameras now. Okay, and that's ultra steady 1080p 30 fps. Again, when we run, we get a result like that. All right. Okay, guys, so the main highlight of this phone was supposed to be the camera setup at the back. We have a 50 megapixel main camera over here, guys. 50 megapixel super wide angle camera and 13 megapixel 2x optical zoom. Now, 2x optical zoom is mainly for your eBay shots. You want to take a photo of the phone, you zoom in a little bit and you take a photo with the 2x optical zoom. Because come on, 2x optical zoom, the main sensor is big enough to zoom twice and not lose too much of a detail. So 2x optical zoom, yeah, it's practical in some situations, but realistically the Oppo Find X2 had, I don't know what was the 5x or 10x optical zoom with the periscope camera, and over here you have 2x. It's okay, but it's not mind-blowing, guys. Now, the results from the super wide angle camera, I am very, very, very happy about that, guys. I'm going to post a couple of examples you can actually see for yourself over here, but overall Oppo, I think, has one of the best super wide angle cameras on the market, so I'm very happy about that. Now let's talk about the main camera, guys. I think it's a Sony sensor. I'm really not sure which one. I might put it on the screen over here, but it doesn't really matter because it does an amazing job, guys. And again, on a couple of occasions you can actually have a look at some pretty amazing shots that I took over here on my holiday, guys. And the only occasions where it can't really figure out what exactly is happening, for example on this photo, is with the clouds, again with the highlights, guys. And I'm really not sure if that's the Android 15 issue or the Matic Silicon can't figure out the scene properly, or what exactly is happening, or the Hasselblad tuning over here, but the sensor is definitely capable of capturing these details. It's just the photo, it messes up the highlights, guys, and it just doesn't look right. That's the only thing. Otherwise you can take some pretty amazing shots with this phone, and it's definitely holiday approved. So overall I'm glad that I took it on my holiday, guys. And the last thing is, you can have a look at a few video examples over here of the stabilization, but it is pretty good across the board. Let's have a look. Okay, guys, so 4K 60 fps with the photo with the normal stabilization on. When we run, we get a result like that. We can tweak between the 2x camera and the, of course, 1x. And yeah, this is the super wide angle, and there is one more mode that we're gonna test, the ultra stabilization at 1080p. Let's have a look. Okay, so according to the phone, this is Ultra Steady Pro 1080p 60 fps. I'm really not sure who films in 1080p nowadays, but nevertheless, let's see how the stabilization works if we do a short sprint like that. All right, let's go. And now lastly, before I conclude this video, let's have a look at the Volokin Spectrum scoring system, where I rated pretty much 200 Android phones throughout my career, guys. And the Oppo Find X5 is on about 19th place currently, with 42 points out of 50, guys, which is a very, very high result. Now, all of this said, what I've said in the video, considering the phone is worth only about 120 pounds on the UK market currently, makes it one of the best value for money phones money can buy, guys. Because 120 pounds new phone is gonna be a really, really disappointing low range phone. And even 200 something pounds is not the best in terms of what can get you. So essentially the Oppo Find X5, there is not many downfalls, guys. Gaming, it can do that, sacrificing a little bit of the battery life, but it charges faster. You have the flagship cameras, you have the very nice sound, very nice screen, excellent UK firmware with all the notifications and with everything, excellent design, case in the box. So basically there are no deal breakers of this phone, guys, which is very rare thing to see nowadays. So yeah, my advice would be actually get the Find X5 Pro. For about 150 pounds, it's absolutely unbeatable, and the cameras are different. They're a little bit better than this one because the sensors are different. But if you find a bargain on the Oppo Find X5, guys, 120, 130 pounds, this is the way to go, guys. I'm really not sure if you noticed, but on the Vulcan Spectrum scoring system, the most of the best phones pretty much are Oppo devices, simply because these are the flagship phones that I mostly use. They mostly suit my needs and preferences. That doesn't say that other phones are not good. For example, I'm pretty sure the Galaxy S22, 24, 25 or whatever, they're pretty good as well, but they're usually too expensive, guys. And usually on the Oppo devices, after a couple of years, you can find, you know, a bargain every now and again. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, have you used the Oppo X5, X5 Pro? Let me know what are your impressions and experiences. I'm happy to know, guys. But yeah, rather than that, thank you very much for watching and staying this long into my video, guys. But yeah, I appreciate every single view and every single one of you who has been with me throughout the years. I'll keep making content even more the following year, guys, because I have about 30 videos which I shot already but haven't had the time to edit. Hopefully I'll make some more free time in the future and I'll post these videos because some of them are quite interesting. And now I have a couple of 3 or 4 new phones that I can't wait to do the reviews. So yeah, stay tuned, plenty of more new videos to come. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.